Pues sí, bueno, ahora cambio a inglés. Well, this is the testimonial or a cacao ceremony explained by the transformational mentor, Natasja Pelgrom, the one I had the pleasure and also honor to attend the workshop Awaken the Medicine Within, like a really holistic retreat, more than a workshop, where we touched a lot of things, but we're going to focus this time just in the cacao ceremony. Natasja, thank you for being in our video that was an experience, but then turned out into an interview also.
Yes, well, thank you for having me. And para tu público español, hola. I do speak a little bit of Spanish, but for me to explain about this work, I take the easy road, which is the English road. So sorry for your public not being able to do this fully in Spanish yet. Okay.
Yeah, never say sorry for that, because it's gonna be translated, and soon we will be doing things together in English and in Spanish. So
yes, sí, por supuesto.
So Natasja, can you explain us a little bit, or can you explain us what is a cacao ceremony? What's the benefits for who is a cacao ceremony? What's for, why?
Yes. So before I go into the modern day setting, I just want to honor where it actually comes from. So cacao comes from the Latin countries in South America. And as to our knowledge, to our current knowledge, it's actually from 1900 BC. They're already using as a health elixir. Only at a later stage by the Olmec, the Mayans and the Aztec, it was more used as a ceremonial, but also for healing purposes and connection purposes and initiation purposes. So it's been around for a very long time. And the beauty of cacao to me is that it is come back into our society in a way for us to reconnect with ourselves. A lot of the time we're constantly outside of ourselves, right? We are with our screens, distraction, and it's almost like, I call it the spirit of cacao, or the elixir of cacao is calling in and knocking, hey, remember the inner world? So this is where ceremonial cacao, and in the settings that it can be used, can be very different. But if I go back to the properties of cacao, there's two very big differences, because when I say cacao, probably everybody's thinking, chocolate, and I like this brand or that brand, right? And yeah, who doesn't like chocolate? So there is a very big difference, because the cacao, which is ceremonial graded, is raw cacao, fermented, not heated. And then you have cocoa, which is the heated version, which is used for our modern day chocolate, who 9 out of 10 times has so much sugar and dairy added. When you put dairy into the cacao, it actually subtracts the antioxidants. It takes away what actually cacao comes bringing. So this is the main difference of when it comes to the properties. Then another beautiful gift that I always say, like, okay, now if people that know me that watch this, you'll hear say me a lot, okay, what's the gift in certain things, right? And what I love, a lot of the things that we do are external stimulations that take away from our body. When we enhance our body, we need to supplement it, right? When you do a workout, you also need rest period, right? So you need to balance that out. When it comes to cacao, the properties of cacao are about 1,200 different substances or minerals or additions that it comes bringing in. So one of the key ones that everybody's ever heard of it is serotonin, which is the happy dopamine, yay, I'm in good flow, well-being space, right? So the serotonin, which is also then made into melatonin, which is important for our sleep. The dopamine levels are balanced out. So all your neurotransmitters that are fired up the whole day, those getting an influx of energy, getting an influx of well-being for the brain function. So this is just one out of a whole list. Another of the things that actually are added by it is magnesium. So magnesium is, of course, very good for the heart and the brain. It's actually a mild pain reliever, so that's really good. Fatty acids, it's good for your cardiovascular system. It has, I don't know if you know this, but it actually has 40 times more antioxidants than blueberries. You know, blueberries are super powerful, popular right now, all the superfoods. So imagine that it's 40 times stronger. Yeah, blueberries, you know, the blackberries. I don't know the name in Spanish, but yeah, so blackberries. And it's the highest plant based on iron. And of course, yeah, well, maybe this is, for me, it's of course, but it has more calcium than cow milk, which a lot of plants have. You know, like kale have more calcium than cow milk. But so this is just to say that when you look at a natural ingredient that literally says to you, here's a gift for your body. You know, we're bombarded with toxicity throughout our lives, throughout a day, you know, from smoke to thought patterns. You know, toxicity come in many different ways. But when you have a substance like this, which comes and brings in, it says like, here, take it. And then our body goes like, oh yeah, that's what I want.
That's good.
Yeah, and on top of that, what happens is that the Cacao Brew, so you have a block, which the cacao that I use comes from Guatemala. And I love giving credits to those that have walked the path before me and that have taught me how to walk my path. So Keith, the cacao shaman, so giving him those credits. Keith is a Westerner, the typical visual of an old 60s hippie. And sorry for putting that, but then you get a picture of how that looks. And I love the name, like, stay true who you are, Keith, the cacao shaman. He lives in Guatemala, and the beans and the cacao, he blesses each cacao bar. He's been working with the tribe there. So it really is coming back into the community. You can purchase cacao or cacao nibs in any store, but there is very much a difference to the intentionality of it and how it's, yeah, exactly, and how it's pressed together and how it's used and what kind of quality each bean has, because they handpick the bean and they look at it. Okay, this one is a good one to go in, right?
We will leave a link in the description so people can buy from directly and straight.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I have the link you send us in the integration document.
Yeah, I will send you that. Yeah, I will send you that link, because it's, you know, there are many things. It's coming more and more and more. And for most people, if you are a little bit well known in the personal development, it's probably something you've seen passing by, something about cacao, right? And you can approach cacao in many different ways. One of the ways that works really, really well is by playing music and dancing. So, you know, there's a lot of, let's say, full moon parties, beach parties in Goa or in Ibiza, or, you know, like, and they open the festival with a cacao ceremony where everybody drinks a cup and, you know, the energy starts flowing. The most important thing that I think is to stress out, it's not a psychoactive. So it's not a psychedelic. Although when using it as a shamanic tool, you can have very powerful visions and very deep meditative, mind expanding or consciousness expanding experiences.
And a really bigger way to express your emotions too. This is why I felt an experience in the cacao ceremony you hold for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, as in a very big group uses it as an elixir for the joy that it brings, which is very much body, because we are so external, and I believe we are needed to go a little bit more internal. I like using it internally. So when I use cacao in one-on-one coaching sessions, working with people with deep trauma, working with people with having lack of inner connection, heart connection, or maybe wanting to have more of what is my spiritual awareness, but also couples therapy. Because like you perfectly that you said that, the speech, it's you opens up. So this is the thing that you'll hear the most about cacao. It's a heart opener. It's a heart expander. And you feel very comfortable in voicing things. It doesn't push you where you don't want to go. That's the great thing. I love, like, if you're not wanting to go somewhere. It's not like you're uncontrollable, you'll have to go. Like, this is the fear what a lot of people have, like, oh my God, am I going to lose my control? This is our Western fear, our mind fear, right? So yeah, so it's a hard expand and associate. This is why I use it in the retreat, Awaken the Medicine Within, our 4th day, as an integration tool, as a group sharing, because in that sharing, in that openness, people will feel the flow of being able to verbalize the work that they've done with themselves. Put that into place.
And what you have discovered and what you've seen, for example, in the last ceremony, in all the participants, included me. But what's your insights?
My insights on what they've experienced with the cacao?
Exactly.
Well, the main thing is that it was, especially for the men, which was very beautiful to see. The men in our group, they were very verbal and in a space of loving kindness when they're verbalizing or sharing from their heart. You remember when we did the sharing circle, where you expressed your own journey, and then the invitation is to reflect back. So reflecting back is something else, and giving advice. This is what we do all the time from our little narcissistic minds that all of us have. Like, let me tell you how to do it. Right? So sharing back. And in that sharing back, what I saw, that the men were sharing from a place of communication and openness. Like, there were real men there, like this. And we were so taught that men should be this way and women should be this way, right? So the verbally sharing, that was my biggest, what I saw unfolding in front of me, and I'm going like, oh, it's working.
What would you recommend to anyone who is interested in cacao? And how do you hold ceremonies of cacao in Ibiza, in Amsterdam? How people can contact you for, if they are interested about cacao ceremonies? Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people will be interested.
Yes. So one of the things is that we do so many things online, right? Which with cacao, everybody makes their own brew and we meet each other online. This is a way, but there is magic of really coming together as a group. So I have a lot of people that form their own group, and then it's a private setting, and I set up almost a 3-hour session with that group. Or somebody comes private for a one-on-one session, or with 2 or 3 friends. And this could be indeed in Spain, in Ibiza, when I'm around, in Portugal, or in Holland. So these are the 3 countries that I navigate in.
How people can contact you?
Through email, telepathically. I want cacao. No, but one thing to add towards the cacao. So because it's a mood enhancer, and there are some contraindications with cacao. So it's important to understand that when you are on antidepressants, right, because you have an antidepressant use more serotonin, which in 5-HTP and in St. John's wort is a herb for people that want to deal with depression in a natural way. This can be a contraindication. So if you're interested in working with cacao and making your own brew, because I advise, if this is calling you, there are many different recipes out there, and so you'll figure it out. You can connect with me and you figure that out, and it can enhance your meditation, your qigong practice, your yoga, your walk with the dog in the morning, but also your writing. If you want to write, if you want to have more focus and speak from a certain space, these are all things that can help create more ritual and intention towards the practice that you already have. But then you need to know a little bit about the contraindications, because sometimes online it doesn't say. On my website it says so, but sometimes online it doesn't. So antidepressants, St. John's wort, and 5-HTP is in a lot of supplements. So these are the things that you need to watch out for. And then when you do use it, drink a lot of water, because dehydrates the body, and then you can get a headache.
And where people can go and find you online?
Through my website. So my name, natasjapelgrom.com, which is NatasjaPelgrom. I know, super Dutch name, although, I don't look Dutch. So The blonde blue eyes are not here. Yeah.
And Natasja, is there anything else you want to add?
Yes, absolutely. Because I think we're in a time and in a space where we have access to so many things, and we're so stimulated. You don't have to be spiritual. You don't have to have a belief in anything. I do hope that you believe in you, and it can enhance your self-worth and your self-love when you take the time to make you a priority. And by making an action, creating your own brew, something very authentic and ancient comes up that all of us had. You know, how our grandmothers made our cup of tea when we were sick, for example, or your mother, right? It's like this nourishing way, and you're nourishing you. And I think that's what a lot of people crave, but look externally. And this is now the invitation to go inside. Yeah.
Beautifully said, Natasja. And just for everyone who is watching, shortly I'll have Natasja on the podcast. So it will be a really, really, really long conversation and interview. So Natasja, thank you for your time, and thank you for explaining us about the Cacao Ceremony. And something my intuition say that you are going to appear in more videos. I don't know why, but I think so.
Yeah, muchas gracias, amigo. Muy bueno, mío.
Muchas gracias. Bye bye.